Hello, in this video we are going to learn how we can use the rm command to delete any kind of file, including the non-empty directories. So right now I'll switch to my desktop and then I'll create two new directories, directory 1 and directory 2. I'll also create three new files, file 1, file 2 and file 3. Also, I want to create another file inside of my directory 1 and I'll call it text1. And inside of my directory 1 I want to create another directory and I'll call it directory 1.2. Okay, so right now if I do an ls for my directory 1, I will have two files, directory 1.2 and text1. And we can verify that using our graphical interface. As you can see, inside of my directory 1 I have two files, directory 1.2 and text1. Of course directory 2 is empty, as you can see. Okay, so we already learned how we can use the rmdir command to delete a non-empty directory. So if I want to delete directory 2, which is empty, this will work. However, if you want to delete directory 1, this will not work. It will tell you failed to remove directory 1 because it's not empty. And even if you have an empty file here like file 1 and you want to delete it, also rmdir will not work. So as you can see, rmdir is very useless command. It's very useless because it only works in one case, and this is when you have a directory and it's empty. However, if you have a non-empty directory like directory 1, or even if you have another file which is not a directory, rmdir will not work. So it's a very useless command. Right now we are going to learn the powerful rm command. So if you want to delete file 1, for example, all you need to do is just say rm file 1, and this will delete file 1. Rm here stands for remove. And if you want to delete two files together, file 2 and file 3, all you need to do is just say rm file 2, file 3, and then you just separate the file names by a space here, as you can see, and you just hit enter. This will delete file 2 and file 3. Perfect. However, we still want to delete the non-empty directory, right? We try to do this we have been trying to delete a non-empty directory since the last video. So let's see how we can do it using the rm command. So if you just say rm directory 1, this will not work. It will tell you cannot remove directory 1. However, if you want to delete a directory, then you have to specify the -r option. So -r here will recursively delete directories. This means that if you are trying to delete directory 1, for example, and directory 1 has a subdirectory which is directory 1.2, so the -r here means it will delete anything below directory 1, including its subdirectories. And many of you would remember that we used the recursive option with the ls command. So whenever you want to delete a directory, you have to use rm space -r. You have to use the -r option whenever you want to delete a directory. So let's try it. Directory 1, and here you go. Directory 1 is finally deleted. So we successfully deleted a non-empty directory. So let's make another directory. Directory 1, directory 2, two directories here, and let's make also file 1, file 2 and file 3 again. Okay, so right now we finally knew how we can delete directories, right? So directory 1 is empty here. We have to use the -r option no matter what, You have to use the -r option whenever you want to delete a directory. So let's do it. Directory 1 gone. And if you make a new file inside of your directory 2, text2 for example, so right now directory 2 is not empty, but I can still delete it using the -r option. So directory 2 and gone. Pretty good. So right now we are going to learn another three rm command options that I think are very useful. So remember, like, if you just say rm file1, this will just delete file1, right? It will silently delete it. However, if you use the -i option, so -i and then you specify your file name, this will prompt you before deleting any file. So when you say rm-i file2, this will ask you first, you know, if you do you really want to remove file2? And then if you want to remove it, just say y, which is yes, and then hit enter, and this will delete it. So the -i here is interactive. It will ask you for confirmation before removing any file, which is actually very, very useful. So for example, let's say rm-file3, do you want to remove it? I will say no, and then you see file3 is still there, it's not deleted. Let's make another directory pretty fast. Make directory1, and then let's create touch. Let's create text1 inside of directory1, and I'll create another file, call it text2. Okay. So right now I have 2 files inside of my directory1. So let's say, for example, I want to use the -i option when deleting directory1. So first I use the -r because I want to delete a directory. I have to use it, right? And now I want to use the interactive option. So this will ask me before the removal of any file inside of my directory1. So first it will ask me, do you want to go inside directory1? Do you want to descend into directory1? Yeah, I will say yes. And then, okay, it will ask me before the removal of any file inside of my directory. So, do you want to remove text2? I will say yes. Do you want to remove text1? Okay, you know what? I think text1 is important. I don't want to delete it. So, do you want to remove directory1? Yes. And you see, it will not remove directory1 even though I said yes. But the reason here is very simple. Here I want to delete text2. So for example, right now I will show you why it did not delete directory1. So let's squish this here. Yeah. So here it asked me whether I want to delete text2, and I said yes. So that's why it deleted text2. However, it asked me whether I want to delete text1, and I said no. So it kept text1. And now it asked me whether I want to delete directory1. I said yes. But then it told me, how come you want to delete directory1 even though there is a file inside of directory1 that you don't want to delete? This is why it told me, you know what, I will not delete directory1 because there is already one file inside of it that you did not want to delete. So let's do the command one more time. Directory1. So do you want to go inside directory1? Yes. Do you want to delete text1? Yes. Do you want to remove directory1? Yes. This time it will delete directory1, as you can see, because it's empty now. I have nothing, I have no files inside of my directory1 which I want to keep. That's really good. Okay, so -i option is like a double check policy. You use it when you want to remove, like, you know, like you want confirmation. You want to know which files, like sometimes there are important files that you want to keep inside of a directory. This is when you use the -i option to make sure that it will ask for your permission before removal of any file. Okay, and now we will learn the -f option. So the -f option here is kinda the opposite of the -i option. I is interactive. It will ask for your confirmation. F will not ask you for anything. So F here is like force. It will forcefully remove any file without asking you for permission or confirmation. So rm-f file3 will delete file3 without any confirmation message. If you make a directory1 again here, and then you want to create file text1 inside of it, and then you say rm-rf directory1, this will forcefully delete directory1 without confirmation. So here is the -f option, which is the opposite of the I option. Also, -f will not, for example, here let's make file1, right? and let's make file2 also. So let's say, for example, that you said rm file3. Like, clearly I don't have file3 here. So if I execute enter, it will tell me, you know what, there is no such file3 thing. It does not exist. It will show me this message. However, if you said rm-f file3, it will not do anything. It will not show you this message. So the -f option will ignore non-existent files. So what does it mean? It means that, you know what, if the file exists, it will delete it without confirmation. And if the file does not exist, I will not show any message. So f here is forceful. It will ignore non-existent files, and it will not prompt you before removing of any file. So let's see, rm-file1, file2, file3. This will simply remove file1 and file2, and file3 does not exist, right? So it will not remove it. However, it will not tell you that it does not exist. So enter. Yeah, as you can see, it removed file1 and file2, but it did not remove file3, of course, because it does not exist. But it did not tell you that. It didn't tell you that you don't have file3. So this is the -f option. Another option that you can use is the -v, which is also very, very useful. So let's make a directory here, call it directory1, right? And let's make directory1, text1. I'll make three. I will create 3 files inside of my directory1. Text2, and then yeah, text2, and then directory1, text3. Okay, so right now I have three text files inside of my directory1. Text1, text2, text3. Okay. So if you use the -v option, so let's say rm-v, I have to use r here because this is a directory, right? And then you use -v option, and you say directory1. So what will -v option do? So v here is for verbose. It means, like, it stands for verbose. It will simply display a summary. It will show you a summary of what the rm did. So if you just executed this command, it will tell you, okay, I removed the text2 file inside of your directory1. I also removed text1 and text3, and I also removed directory1. It's a summary of what your command did. It's very, very useful actually. It will show you a summary of what you did. And sometimes you want to save this into another text file, and we will see how we can do this using redirections later on. So -v is a summary of what the rm command does. That's perfect. I want to show you one more thing before I finish up with this video. Let's make a directory here, and okay, and let's make a file1 here. If you want to delete these 2 files together, you have to use rm-r directory1 and then file1. So you can delete a file and a directory at the same time, but you have to use the -r option. As you can see, they are both deleted. One more thing before I actually close this video, I want to tell you that, let's do another file. I want to tell you that the r here is not case sensitive. So if you use r small, it will do the same thing. So yeah, that's one thing that you need to know, is the r here is not case sensitive. Unlike the ls command. The ls command, the r capital is different than the r small. You would remember the r capital is for recursive listing, and the r small will be for sorting modification time. So yeah, that's it for this video. I highly suggest that you practice a lot with the rm command. It's very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. You can use it to delete any kind of file. You can use to delete empty directories, non-empty directories, any kind of file. So I highly suggest that you spend a lot of time practicing with the rm command and combining options and you see the results. Yeah, so that's it for this video. Ciao.